Hey everybody, it's Craig with Smartphoneenvy. We got a great face-off for us today. A couple of AT&T combatants. Samsung's Galaxy S2 Skyrocket featuring AT&T's new 4G LTE connectivity up against the old faithful AT&T Galaxy S2 offering AT&T's HSPA plus 4G connectivity. Before we kick this off, I want to thank the folks over at Best Buy Mobile for setting me up with the Galaxy S2 Skyrocket. If you're in need of a smartphone, make sure you stop by and pick one up from Best Buy Mobile. All right, let's kick off our face-off. Galaxy S2 Skyrocket. Weighs in at 130.5 grams. It's the heavier of the two. Features a 4.5-inch Super AMOLED Plus capacitive display. Resolution of 480 by 800. Offers Gorilla Glass. Upper left-hand corner, you've got a 2-megapixel front-facing camera for video calls. Below the display, 4 touch-sensitive keys. Main menu key, home key, back key, and search key. On the back, 8-megapixel camera, LED flash, autofocus, video capture, 1080p at 30 frames per second. Underneath the battery cover is an 1850 milliamp hour battery, rated at 7 hours of talk time. Up on top, 3.5mm headphone jack along with one of the microphones. On the right-hand side is the power and lock key. On the bottom, micro USB port along with the other microphone, volume rocker on the left-hand side. Phone speakers down here in the lower right-hand corner. And the other thing you'll notice is there's no texture coding on the back of the Skyrocket, which is typical on the Galaxy S2 series. All right, next up, Old Faithful, Samsung Galaxy S2. Weighs in at 121.9 grams, lighter of the two. Features a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED Plus capacitive display, same resolution, 480 by 800. Again, offers Gorilla Glass. Also 2-megapixel front-facing camera for video calls, and below the display 4 touch-sensitive keys, main menu key, home key, back key, and search key. Awful lot of similarities here. And for more of that, 8-megapixel camera with autofocus LED flash, video capture again, 1080p at 30 frames per second. Battery a little different, a little smaller, but better rated. 1650 milliamp hour battery rated at 8 hours of talk time. Up on top, microphone, 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right-hand side is the power and lock key. On the bottom, another microphone, micro USB port. And on the left-hand side is the volume rocker. Again, the phone speakers down here in the lower right-hand corner. And here's the texture coding you typically see on the Galaxy S2 variants from Samsung. All right, let's talk processors, because that is one of the differences between these two. The Skyrocket features a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor from Qualcomm. It's our Snapdragon 3. On the Galaxy S2 AT&T version, you're going to get Samsung's Exynos 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor. Both offer 16 gigabytes of internal storage, which can be expanded an additional 32 gigabytes through the use of a micro SD card. Both offer 1 gigabyte of RAM. Both offer Wi-Fi 802.11ab, GNL, along with support for DNLA, easy for me to say. Also support for HDMI out. Both offer GPS with support for AGPS. Both can be used as Wi-Fi hotspots. Operating system on the Skyrocket is Android 2.3.5 Gingerbread. On the Galaxy S2, it's Android 2.3.4, and they both offer Samsung's TouchWiz 4.0 UI overlay. Next up, let's take a look at the Quadrant Center benchmark test on both. I'm going to run this all the way through. Do a clean start on both. And again, you've got the 1.2 gigahertz dual-core Exynos in the Galaxy S2, and the Skyrocket offers Qualcomm's 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon 3 series processor. Displays are both set to default brightness. See screen frame rates in the lower left-hand corner, and they both also offer 1 gigabyte of RAM. Just about done on both. Last test. All right, let's check it out. We've got a $29.92 on the Galaxy S2 and $25.04 on the Skyrocket. Now, I've run these a number of times before. I've had the Skyrocket up to 3,300, and I've had the Galaxy S2 up to 3,500. But every time I have found the Galaxy S2 with the Exynos processor to be quicker than the new 1.5 dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 3 processor. Next up, we're going to run a couple of YouTube videos, also a Netflix movie, see how they spool up. One thing to keep in mind is Skyrocket does offer, again, AT&T's new 4G LTE, which has been clocked up to 60 megabytes per second. So obviously 10 times faster than what their current so-called 4G HSPA Plus is offering on AT&T. I'm in the LA area. Their 4G LTE is not available yet. God, that was a mouthful. So I can't demonstrate it. I'm sorry. We're going to run this off of Wi-Fi hookup, and they're both hooked up to the same Wi-Fi network, both set to default to HQ.
So fired up, let's do this! Okay, game on. Watch and learn.
All right, well, we're looking at the same displays, and they're both set to the same default brightness. They do look different. Let's try Chicken Lady, and then after this we'll head over and run a Netflix video.
Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to show you my gigantic f***ing shoe. Look at this. This is a size 20. I'm not saying my dick is big, but I am going to say that my last 3 girlfriends are dead. That doesn't even make sense. So here's our first video.
All right, let's wrap up our YouTube comparison. We'll run a couple of movies off of Netflix. Dial M for Murder. Let me kick this off. Again, they're both running off the same Wi-Fi network. They both have the latest version of Netflix downloaded, and it looks as if the looks like our Skyrocket was the winner. Although both of them offer the same displays, Super AMOLED Plus, same resolution, there's definitely a difference in the way they look. Got them both set to default brightness. Now, maybe the default brightness on the Galaxy S2 is a little lower, but they're definitely, the whites are definitely whiter on the Skyrocket. So there's a look. The Galaxy S2 spooled up 2 out of 3 of our video samples quicker than the Skyrocket based on the Wi-Fi connection. Next up, let's run our navigation comparison. Navigate to Starbucks. Well, searching for for GPS. Oh.
Southwest on St. Croix Court toward Bay Court Lane.
All right, and that was the Skyrocket. Got it first. See if we can put on the satellite view. There we go. Take a look at both, and again, there is definite difference in the color of the screen. The colors definitely seem deeper on the Galaxy S2 than on the Skyrocket. All right, let's quit messing around here. It scrolls just fine. Double tap to zoom in. Taking a while for it to redraw. Let's try on the other. Both taking their time redrawing. Both of them are handling it. All right, let's pinch out a little bit. Zoom out. There we go. See how well they redraw. Both are nice and smooth. They are slow at redrawing today. I have no idea why. It's unusual. They usually redraw quite a bit quicker. I don't know if AT&T is having some issues or what it is, but they're both redrawing a little bit slow, but they both handle navigation, voice-guided, turn-by-turn without any problem.